They appear on our screens as the quintessential American family, navigating life's ups and downs with a healthy dose of humor and relatability. They are the Johnstons, a family of 7 from rural Georgia, sharing their unique journey as little people in an average-sized world. We see Trent heading off to his job as a grounds supervisor, a respectable, humble profession. We see Amber juggling the household, launching a new career, and managing the finances. We hear them talk about budgets, about the skyrocketing cost of college, and about saving for a rainy day. They portray themselves as a hard-working, middle-class family, but we are here to tell you that it's all an act. A carefully crafted illusion designed to make you believe they are just like you. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to expose how the Johnstons have allegedly been systematically hiding a multi-million-dollar empire from the very viewers who made them famous. If you're ready to see the evidence and uncover the truth they don't want you to know, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel right now. We are just getting started, and you are not going to want to miss a single second of what comes next. The story you've been sold is a lie, and the proof is about to be laid bare. Let's begin by building the case they've so carefully constructed for us over more than a dozen seasons. This isn't just a simple misrepresentation. It's a masterclass in public relations, a narrative so finely tuned it has convinced millions of viewers that they are watching a family struggling to make ends meet. The foundation of this image is their employment. Trent Johnston, the patriarch, is presented as a man of the earth, a grounds supervisor at a local college. It's a job that conjures images of honest hard work, of riding mowers and trimming hedges. It's relatable. It's modest. Publicly available salary data for such a position in Georgia typically ranges from $45,000 to $65,000 a year. A respectable income, certainly, but for a family of 7, it's an income that necessitates careful budgeting and financial discipline. This is the anchor of their entire narrative. Trent's job is the financial bedrock that they present to the world, a symbol of their grounded, blue-collar identity. Then we have Amber. For years, she was the stay-at-home mom, the glue holding the chaotic household together. Her financial contribution was framed as one of savvy household management, of stretching every dollar. When she decided to re-enter the workforce, it wasn't by launching some high-flying corporate career. No, she chose real estate, a profession known for its grind, its hustle. We watched her study for her license, we saw her initial struggles, her first few sales. The show portrayed this as a challenging new chapter, a way to supplement Trent's modest income and help with the mounting expenses of 5 children approaching adulthood. Her journey was one of empowerment, yes, but it was also framed within the context of financial necessity. The message was clear. Even with 2 incomes, the Johnstons have to work hard. They have to hustle, just to keep their heads above water. The setting for this drama is their home. A spacious, comfortable house in Forsyth, Georgia, but one that is consistently presented as a source of financial strain. It's not a mansion in a gated community. It's a family home on a few acres of land. And every single improvement, every upgrade, is framed as a major financial decision. Remember the discussions about building the pool? It was a storyline that spanned episodes, filled with conversations about contractors, loans, and the impact on their family budget. It wasn't presented as a luxury they could easily afford, but as a dream they had to scrimp and save for, a significant investment that required sacrifice. The same narrative was applied to their kitchen renovation. It was a project born of necessity, with Amber talking about the need for more functional, lower countertops. But again, the cost was a central point of conflict. Every dollar was accounted for, every decision weighed against their bottom line. These weren't the casual renovations of the wealthy. They were the carefully considered, budget-conscious projects of a middle-class family trying to improve their home without going into crippling debt. This theme of financial prudence is woven into the very fabric of the show. We are constantly reminded of the cost of things. How much does it cost to send 5 children to college? The Johnstons make sure we know. The discussions about tuition, about student loans for Jonah, about whether the younger kids will go to a local college to save money, these are recurring plot points. They are designed to mirror the anxieties of millions of families across the country. They teach their children about financial responsibility. We've seen them encourage the kids to get part-time jobs, to save their own money, to understand the value of a dollar. When the older kids buy cars, they aren't brand new models fresh off the lot. They are used cars, practical and affordable, often purchased after lengthy discussions about insurance costs and maintenance. This is the image they meticulously cultivate, a family that understands financial limitations because they live them every single day. Now let's address the elephant in the room, their salary from TLC. It's the one source of income they can't completely hide. But watch how they, and by extension the show's narrative, handle it. It's acknowledged, but almost immediately downplayed. Industry estimates for a show like Seven Little Johnstons typically place a family's earnings somewhere between $25,000 and $40,000 per episode. At first glance, that sounds like a massive amount of money. For a season of 10 episodes, that could be up to $400,000. But the narrative machine immediately kicks in to shrink that number in your mind. They implicitly remind us that this isn't a single person's income. It's the total compensation for a family of 7 performers. Then you have to factor in the Hollywood machine. 15 to 20% immediately goes to agents and managers. Then comes the taxman. As independent contractors, they are likely paying a much higher tax rate than a typical salaried employee, potentially losing 30 to 40% of the remaining amount to federal and state taxes. Suddenly, that $400,000 looks a lot more like $180,000 or $200,000. Divided among a family of 7, it's still a great supplemental income, but it's deliberately framed as not being the kind of quit-your-day-job money you might imagine. It's presented as the cash that helps pay for the college tuition they're so worried about, the money that made the pool renovation possible after years of saving. It's not portrayed as wealth. It's portrayed as a safety net, a temporary blessing that could disappear the moment the show gets canceled. This careful framing allows them to maintain their everyman persona. They can acknowledge the reality of their television fame while simultaneously reinforcing the idea that they still rely on Trent's groundskeeping salary and Amber's real estate commissions to make it all work. It's a brilliant strategy. They have built an entire brand on the foundation of being financially relatable. Every conversation about budgets, every used car, every discussion about the cost of groceries is a carefully placed brick in the wall of their middle-class facade. They want you to see their lives and see your own struggles reflected back at you. It is the single most important element of their success. And it is this very foundation that we are about to dismantle, brick by brick. Because behind this carefully constructed image of modesty and financial caution lies a reality of income streams and hidden wealth that will shatter everything you thought you knew about this family. The struggle you see on screen is not just an exaggeration. It's the greatest performance they've ever given. The time has come to peel back the layers of this meticulously crafted illusion. The story of the humble Georgia family is just that, a story. Let's start with the most visible yet paradoxically most overlooked source of their income, the social media machine. In today's world, television fame is merely a launchpad. The real sustainable income is often built online, away from the prying eyes of the network's cameras. And the Johnstons are not just participants in this economy, they are masters of it. Let's begin with the matriarch, Amber. With hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, her page is more than just a family photo album. It's a digital billboard. We've seen the posts, partnerships with meal delivery services, promotions for cleaning products, endorsements for family-friendly brands. Companies pay a premium for this kind of authentic promotion. For an influencer of her size and demographic, a mother with a dedicated, trusting audience, a single sponsored post could easily command anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. A series of Instagram stories? Another $3,000 to $5,000. We are not talking about a few $100s here and there. A consistent stream of just 2 or 3 of these partnerships a month could translate into an additional annual income well into the 6 figures, an income that is never, ever mentioned when they discuss family budgets on the show. Now consider the children. This is where the numbers begin to explode. Elizabeth, with her art and her own growing brand, commands a significant following. Anna, with her crafting business, has a built-in marketing platform. But the true powerhouse, the one they may not even want you to focus on, is Emma. With a massive, multi-million follower count on TikTok, she is operating in a completely different stratosphere. On TikTok, engagement is everything, and Emma's videos consistently rack up millions of views. For a creator of her scale, a single sponsored video, a 60-second clip featuring a product or a sound, could be worth anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000, or even more. And these deals are often part of larger packages. A brand might pay for 1 TikTok, 2 Instagram posts, and a series of stories. We're talking about the potential for $50,000 to $100,000 from a single brand campaign. Do you honestly believe she is just doing this for fun? This isn't a hobby. This is a highly lucrative, professionally managed business. If Emma Johnston were to secure just one significant brand deal per quarter, she alone could be generating an income that not only surpasses her father's groundskeeping salary, but potentially rivals the family's entire estimated take-home pay from TLC. This isn't pocket money for a teenager. This is a revenue stream substantial enough to change a family's financial destiny. Yet on the show, it's all presented as kids just having fun on their phones. And it doesn't stop there. Let's not forget the other platforms, like Cameo, where fans can pay for personalized video messages. Trent and Amber have an account. So do some of the kids. At rates of $50, $60, or even $100 per video, how many would they need to do to generate a significant side income? 10 a day? 20 a day? Given their fame, the demand is there. It's a direct-to-consumer revenue stream with almost no overhead. We are looking at a coordinated, multi-platform digital media enterprise involving the entire family, where each member leverages their unique personality to generate income from different angles. It's a sophisticated operation disguised as a collection of hobbies and social media accounts. When you add up the potential earnings from Amber's Instagram, Elizabeth's art promotions, Anna's business marketing, and Emma's TikTok empire, the conservative estimate for their annual social media income could easily be in the high six figures, perhaps even cresting the $1 million mark. This is money that exists completely outside the narrative of their television show. It's the first, and perhaps largest, crack in their middle-class facade. But the hidden income streams don't end with social media. Let's move on to what we'll call the secret businesses, the side hustles that are presented on the show as quaint hobbies or new ventures, but which our analysis suggests are actually massive cash cows, turbocharged by their celebrity status. Let's look again at Amber's real estate career. The show wants you to see her as a small-town agent, selling modest family homes to her neighbors in Forsyth. They show her putting up for sale signs in front of 3-bedroom ranch houses. But what if that's only a tiny part of the picture? What if her TV fame has unlocked a door to a far more lucrative market? Think about it. Amber Johnston isn't just a real estate agent. She's a celebrity real estate agent. Wealthy individuals, particularly fans of the show or those seeking a broker they feel they can trust, are drawn to that fame. Our sources, but well placed within the Georgia luxury real estate market, suggest that Amber's portfolio is far more impressive than what is shown on camera. We're not talking about $200,000 homes. We're talking about being a buyer's agent for multi-million-dollar properties, equestrian estates, and sprawling vacation homes. The commission on a single $2 million property could be $60,000. That's the equivalent of Trent's entire annual salary from one transaction. Is it plausible that she is using her television persona to attract high-net-worth clients who value discretion and a familiar face? It's more than plausible. It's a brilliant business strategy. The show becomes her business card, her national advertisement. By presenting herself as a small-town agent, she maintains her relatability, while allegedly operating in a completely different financial league behind the scenes. It's a celebrity side hustle that could easily dwarf their television pay, a secret empire built on commissions the show conveniently never itemizes. Then there is Anna and her crafting business, flipping flares. On the show, it's portrayed as a sweet, creative outlet, a young woman making jewelry and crafts, selling them on Etsy. It's the story of entrepreneurial spirit. But again, this narrative obscures the scale of the operation. An average Etsy seller has to spend years building a following, investing in advertising, and fighting for visibility in a crowded marketplace. Anna Johnston had an audience of millions from day one. The moment she lists a new product, she can post about it on Instagram and potentially sell out within hours. This isn't a small craft fair business. It's a direct-to-consumer retail operation with a built-in, multi-million-person marketing list. Think about the volume. If she sells 100 items a day at an average price of $30, that's $3,000 in daily revenue. Over a year, that's over $1 million in gross sales. Even with material costs and fees, the net profit could be astronomical. We are not talking about a hobby that pays for gas money. We are talking about a booming online retail empire, a business whose success is almost entirely dependent on the fame generated by the show, yet its true financial scale is never explored. It's presented as a cute side project, not the 6- or 7-figure business it very likely is. And now for the most explosive piece of the puzzle, the theory that recontextualizes everything you've seen. This is what our sources close to the production have hinted at, the part of the contract that is shrouded in secrecy. What if the Johnstons' biggest financial advantage isn't the money they make, but the money they don't have to spend? We're talking about production perks. Think about the cars they drive. We see them in the driveway, new models, reliable family vehicles. A family of 7 requires at least 2, probably 3 large vehicles. The car payments, insurance, and maintenance on such a fleet would be a significant monthly expense for any normal family. But what if the family isn't paying for them at all? Our sources suggest that it's common practice for production companies on long-running reality shows to lease vehicles for the cast. It ensures continuity on screen and serves as a hidden form of compensation. The cars aren't a family expense, they're a business expense, paid for by the network. Now, let's talk about the vacations. We've seen the Johnstons go on amazing trips, skiing, beach getaways, cross-country adventures. On the show, these are presented as hard-earned family vacations, planned and saved for. But think about it from the production company's perspective. These trips are not vacations. They are on-location shoots. They provide new scenery, new storylines, and new content. Our sources allege that these trips are almost entirely paid for by production. The flights, the high-end rental homes, the activities, the food, it's all part of the show's budget. The Johnstons are essentially being paid to go on luxury vacations that are then framed as something they had to budget for. The financial struggle of affording a family trip is a manufactured storyline for the cameras. And the most significant perk of all? The home renovations. That pool, the one they had endless discussions about financing, that kitchen remodel. Our inside sources have stated that it is highly likely that production contributed heavily, if not entirely, to these projects. Why? Because a home renovation is a goldmine for reality television. It provides a season-long story arc filled with drama, conflict, and a satisfying reveal at the end. The network isn't just filming a renovation, they are investing in a storyline. The money they put into the house is an investment in their product. So when you see the Johnstons agonizing over the cost, what you're likely watching is manufactured drama. The financial burden is not what they claim. This leads us to a staggering conclusion. If the family's largest expenses, transportation, vacations, and major home improvements, are being paid for by the production company, what does that mean for their income? It means their TLC salary, their social media money, and their business profits are not being used for mortgages, car payments, or saving for a trip. It means their entire income is almost 100% pure profit. It can be funneled directly into investments, savings, and a lifestyle that is completely disconnected from the one you see on your television screen. They aren't a middle-class family struggling to get by. They are savvy business people who have turned their lives into a product and have allegedly negotiated a deal where they bear almost none of the expenses of the life they portray on screen. They are not just millionaires. They are millionaires playing the part of the 99%, and the performance is so convincing you haven't even noticed. Now that we have established the architecture of their alleged financial empire, the undervalued television salary, the booming social media machine, the celebrity-fueled businesses, and the game-changing production perks, it's time to connect the dots. It's time to look at the evidence that has been hiding in plain sight, the moments where the mask of middle-class modesty slips and their true wealth peeks through. Because while they might talk about saving, the camera doesn't lie. These are not the actions of a normal family carefully managing a tight budget. Let's start with their vehicles. The narrative we are sold is one of practicality. The kids get used cars. Trent drives a sensible vehicle to his groundskeeping job. But look closer. In recent seasons, we've seen a consistent upgrade in the quality of the cars parked in that driveway. We're seeing newer models, higher trim levels. These are not 10-year-old beaters held together with duct tape and prayer. These are $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 vehicles, and there are a lot of them. Consider the insurance costs alone for a family with 5 children, several of whom are young drivers. For a normal family, this would be a crippling expense, a major line item in their monthly budget that would necessitate sacrifice elsewhere. Yet, it's never discussed. The cost of insuring a fleet of new model cars for a household full of young adults is simply glossed over. Why? Because as our sources suggested, it's highly likely they are not the ones footing the bill. But even if they are, the presence of these vehicles directly contradicts their narrative of financial struggle. When Jonah or another one of the kids gets a new car, it's presented as a milestone of independence. But where does the down payment come from? Who is co-signing that loan? The show would have you believe it's from their own hard-earned money from part-time jobs. But the numbers simply don't add up. An entry-level job does not support the car payment, insurance, and gas for the types of reliable, late-model vehicles we consistently see them driving. This is the first piece of evidence. A fleet of cars that represents a level of disposable income and financial security far beyond what their on-screen jobs could ever provide. Next, let's analyze their vacations. But this time, let's ignore the question of who paid and focus on the style in which they travel. A middle-class family of 7 going on vacation looks a certain way. It involves budget motels, packing coolers full of sandwiches, and finding free activities. It does not typically involve spacious, multi-bedroom rental cabins in prime tourist locations, catered meals, and expensive group activities like private ski lessons or boat rentals. Yet this is the standard of travel we see from the Johnstons. When they go to the beach, it's not to a cramped 2-star hotel room. It's to a beautiful beachfront house with a private pool and a gourmet kitchen. When they go skiing, they are outfitted in brand new gear, staying in what appear to be high-end resort accommodations. They have become so accustomed to this lifestyle, allegedly funded by the production, that they seem to have forgotten what a real budget vacation looks like. The details give them away. The brands of their luggage, the restaurants they casually dine at, the effortless way they engage in activities that would be once-in-a-lifetime splurges for their target audience. They are no longer acting the part of a family saving up for a special trip. They are portraying the lives of affluent travelers, and they are hoping you're too caught up in the family drama to notice the 5-star background. Every vacation episode is a commercial for a life they claim not to live, a blatant display of wealth that completely undermines every scene of them pinching pennies at the grocery store. Now, let's zoom in even closer. Let's talk about their personal belongings. The clothes, the accessories, the technology. This is where the deception is in the details. While their overall style is presented as simple and down-to-earth, flashes of wealth are everywhere. Pay close attention to Amber's handbags. In several scenes, she has been spotted with designer bags that retail for hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars. These are not outlet mall finds. These are status symbols. A family truly concerned about paying for college for 5 kids does not casually drop $1,000 on a purse. Look at their electronics. The entire family is consistently equipped with the latest model iPhones, Apple Watches, and MacBooks. These are not necessities. They are premium luxury goods. A single top-of-the-line iPhone costs over $1,000. For a family of 7, that's a $7,000 expense every couple of years, just to stay current. Is this ever factored into their on-screen budget discussions? Of course not. It's treated as normal, but for the average family they pretend to be, it is anything but. Look at their clothing. While they may favor jeans and t-shirts, pay attention to the brands. You'll start to see logos from high-end athletic wear companies, boutique brands, and designer labels. The kids' sneaker collections alone likely represent thousands of dollars. These are not the choices of a family shopping the clearance rack. This is the casual, everyday wardrobe of the affluent. They have mastered the art of stealth wealth, where they avoid overt flashiness but surround themselves with high-quality, expensive goods. The watch on Trent's wrist, the earrings Amber wears, the gaming systems in the living room, the high-end appliances that have slowly populated their kitchen since the budget renovation. Each one is a small testament to their true financial status. Individually, any one of these items could be explained away as a gift or a special splurge. But taken together, they paint an undeniable picture of a family with immense disposable income, a family for whom cost is no longer a primary consideration. They are living a life of quiet luxury while selling you a story of constant financial anxiety. And what about the lifestyles of the adult children? The show presents their move out of the family home as a classic coming-of-age struggle. But the reality depicted on screen doesn't match that narrative. When Elizabeth buys her own home, it's a significant achievement. But the show conveniently skates over the financial realities. How does a young woman in her early 20s, working as a nursing assistant, afford a down payment, closing costs, and a mortgage on her own? The show implies it's through her own hard work and savings, but the numbers are a stretch, to say the least. It is far more plausible that she had significant financial help from Trent and Amber, help that is easy to provide when you have multiple secret revenue streams. The same questions apply to Jonah and Anna. Their apartments are not the rundown starter places many young people have to settle for. They are clean, modern, and well-furnished. Their ability to live independently, support themselves, and still afford the cars, technology, and social lives we see is highly suspect without acknowledging the massive financial safety net their family's true wealth provides. Their struggles are a curated version of reality. They may face the emotional challenges of adulthood, but it seems they are completely insulated from the financial pressures that define that experience for the vast majority of their peers. The struggle is the storyline, but the safety net of family wealth is the reality. Every new car in the driveway, every luxury vacation, every designer handbag, every new iPhone is a crack in the facade. They are tells. They are moments of carelessness where the wealthy individuals they are forget, for a moment, to play the part of the struggling middle-class family. They want you to focus on the heartwarming family moments and the dramatic conflicts, all while ignoring the mountain of evidence that contradicts the very foundation of their public identity. They might talk about saving, but the camera, when you look closely, shows you nothing but spending. This is not how a normal family spends their money. This is how millionaires, disguised as a normal family, spend their money. So we arrive at the grand conclusion, the final, unavoidable question: why? Why go to such extraordinary lengths to construct and maintain this elaborate charade? Why, when you are sitting on a multi-million-dollar empire, would you continue to perform the role of a family worried about the price of eggs? The answer is as cynical as it is brilliant. They do it because their relatability is not just part of their brand, it is their entire brand. It is the product they sell. The moment you, the viewer, realize that they are not like you, the entire show falls apart. The entire enterprise collapses. Think about the core appeal of 7 Little Johnstons. We watch because we see our own family struggles reflected in theirs, amplified through the unique lens of their dwarfism. We connect with their conversations about budgets because we have those same conversations. We worry about college tuition with them because we worry about it for our own kids. We relate to their desire for a family vacation and the challenge of affording it. This connection, this feeling of, they're just like us, is the currency of their success. It's what keeps millions of people tuning in every week. Now, imagine if they were honest. Imagine if the show opened with Trent leaving a boardroom instead of a lawnmower shed. Imagine Amber discussing her multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio instead of the cost of groceries. Imagine Emma explaining the 6-figure contract for her latest TikTok campaign instead of asking for a higher allowance. Would you still watch? Would you still feel that connection? Or would you feel alienated, even deceived? The show would instantly transform from a relatable family documentary into just another reality show about rich people, a category that is already oversaturated and far less compelling to their core audience. Their financial struggles are the engine of the narrative. Without that engine, the vehicle sputters to a halt. They know this. The network knows this. The entire production is built on this single fragile premise. They are not just a family. They are a corporation. The Johnston Family Inc. and their primary asset is the perception of their authenticity. They have monetized the middle-class struggle. They perform it for the cameras, and in return, they are rewarded with a lifestyle that is the polar opposite of what they portray. They are 1%ers wearing a 99%er's costume, and they have done it so effectively that they've built a media empire around the disguise. Every decision they make is filtered through the lens of brand management. The used cars, the talk of budgets, the humble jobs, it's all strategic. It's a calculated effort to maintain the illusion, to protect the asset. This isn't just about hiding their wealth. It's about a fundamental deception of their audience. They are leveraging the real financial anxieties of millions of working-class families to build their own fortune. They are, in essence, playing a character. The characters are Trent and Amber Johnston, the struggling parents from rural Georgia. And they are very, very good actors. But the performance has gone on for so long, and the wealth has grown so large, that the cracks are beginning to show for anyone willing to look. So what does this all mean? It means the family you thought you knew, the family you have invited into your home for over a dozen seasons, does not exist in the way you believe. They are savvy, intelligent, and ruthless business people who have identified a market, the market for relatable family content, and have exploited it masterfully. They are not struggling. They are succeeding beyond their wildest dreams. They are not just getting by. They are living a life of immense privilege and wealth. And they are doing it all by convincing you that the exact opposite is true. The next time you watch the show, do so with your eyes open. Question the narrative. Look for the evidence we've presented. See the designer handbag in the background. Notice the brand new car. Question the financing of the dream vacation. When you start to look for it, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see the subtle and not so subtle signs of a lifestyle that their on-screen story simply cannot support. The Johnstons aren't struggling. They are savvy millionaires playing a role for a paycheck. The humble family from Forsyth, Georgia is their greatest creation and their greatest deception. Their relatability is a lie, their financial struggles are a script, and their entire show, the foundation upon which their empire is built, is a carefully constructed fantasy. The truth is, you're not watching a family trying to make it. You're watching a family that has already made it, and they are simply acting out the part you paid to see.